What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel.
Hey,
my name is Fani. This is my lovely fiance, Abraham Scully.
That's
right. And today, you may see a new face, which is my future brother-in-law, Mr. Dreddy Momo.
Hey, Dreddy Momo.
Earlier today, we were having just random conversations, and this topic of being hot came up.
And HOT stands for honest, open, and transparent.
That's right.
And then my brother here, Dreddy Mo, was like, oh, I also know of the word hot, and hot means to be, upset or angry or frustrated, whatever, right?
I think the way the conversation started is we were in the kitchen doing something, and I said
eating.
We were eating.
I was eating. I don't know about them, but I was eating.
Okay, we were in the kitchen, and I said something like, "Abe, are you afraid of being hot right now?" So being honest, open, and transparent. And so Rod was like, "What is that?" So we talked about it, but what I was referring to is Abe, are you being afraid of being vulnerable right now? Are you being afraid of being open with your brother and with me? So we started talking about that. We started basically sharing times that we have been hot with ourselves, with each other, and all of that. And it just it gave us a lot of light and insight on some of the things that we need to improve in our lives, and also some of the things that we can share with you guys because we've struggled with and we're working on.
Rua actually shared a point where he was talking about secondary emotions. Was it?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, secondary emotions. And it made me think when you feel an emotion and you react with anger or frustration, that isn't necessarily the first thing that happens because of the situation or circumstance.
Right.
There's always something that happens before the anger comes out. And I didn't even think of that until he said secondary emotion. So Rua, break that down for us a little bit.
All right, so basically, it is a secondary emotion. Primary emotions, dang, this harder than I thought. Sweat me. But yeah, so basically, I'm used to the word hot from I guess a street term for getting angry. So when y'all was speaking about y'all how y'all broke down and had the abbreviation for, you feel me, the definitions of each letter, it kind of I was elated to
That boy using a big
UV, but I was IT. But I was real elated.
And so hot, when you think of the word hot, what comes to mind? The first thing for me is fire, right? Or heat or something hot, right? And so HOT is also an acronym for honest, open, and transparent.
Right.
And I believe that in our lives, there are going to be scenarios that are hot in our lives as human beings that are uncomfortable because of the intense heat. But we also have to go through those situations and walk towards those situations in order to grow. And so the analogy that I like to use is like gold. When you're making gold and it's becoming the valuable commodity that we pay so much money for, in order for it to become valuable, it has to go through extreme heat and extreme pressure. And once it makes it out of that heat, then it's that gold that we all love, right? And that we'll pay a lot of money for. And it's the same thing with human beings. We won't be able to become the people that we want to be unless we allow ourselves to go through that heating experience, that hot experience. And so when you hear us refer to hot, 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 think honest, open, and transparent. For the first part of the HOT acronym, because the honest part means that you're being honest with yourself.
Yeah.
And so when you say secondary emotion, that means you have to have awareness enough to know what your emotions are, which you do if you can say, all right, this is one emotion and this is my secondary emotion. Right. And so when you say secondary emotion, like, just kind of give us like a rundown of like, okay, if a situation happens, like, how are you able to have the awareness to know what you're feeling and then acknowledge it for what it is, whether it's a good emotion or a negative emotion?
Well, I feel like I have to explain why I'm like this. So before I continue on, so I'm just gonna make this really quick.
You got 5 seconds. I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Oh, so I got in some trouble, and I was forced to go to an anger management class, right? So, I'm talking to y'all. Or?
I'm talking to whoever you
all
want
right,
to talk to.
So,
but I'm gonna be looking at you though. Just don't feel uncomfortable unless you want to look back.
I'm scared.
All right.
But yeah, I was forced to go into an anger management class, and as I went, I was real annoyed, but I didn't show it because it's an anger management class. You feel me? So after like the third visit,
how you gonna get angry in an anger management?
Yeah, you can't, right? So I'm just there. I'm mad as hell, but I'm smiling, bro. You feel me? I'm trying to show them that I'm not angry, bro. So I had 13 weeks of that. I think it was either one class a week or it was one class a week. So I went for 13 sessions. Anyway, so like the third, fourth visit, I was like, man, you know what? This has to be God, bro. So I had to just cope with it. You feel me? I had to just do it, just listen, just read, just really like, you feel me? So when I started like listening and whatever, they started talking about emotions and stuff. So even though I don't have an anger problem, but I was just taking heed. I don't know if that makes sense with it.
Yeah, so like tell us like how, because you weren't always good at like acknowledging your emotions and saying, I'm in this secondary emotion now. So how were you able to like, do that?
Here it goes. I had to accept that I wasn't on my schedule anymore. I wasn't on my time.
What that mean?
Basically, like when you go to court, you're not on your time anymore. You could be at court for all day. It's not your time anymore. You have to accept that. You can't get mad. You feel me? Because it's not your time anymore. Yeah. You got in trouble, so you there. It's not your time no more. You messed up.
They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want. Why? Because you messed up. You put yourself there. I had to accept that. You feel me?
Preaching the word.
So in the class now, the subject was emotions. You feel me? Controlling your emotions. So they explain you have two types of emotions: primary and secondary. Those are the two types of emotions. So primary emotion is when something happens that you don't like or whatever happens, like you either feel sad, you get mad, or frustrated or betrayed. You feel betrayed. Then the secondary emotion is how you deal with that, how you deal with your primary emotion. So most people get mad. You feel me? So
anger.
Yeah. So after just like the same face you making, that's the face I made in the class. I'm like, I'm really learning something.
So Fani, what about you? Like, I think in our relationship, we've had multiple opportunities to be hot to the point where we turn it into a game, or not even like a game, but we
just
become
like
more aware.
Joke.
Yeah,
it's
like an inside joke.
Like
if I need to talk about something that I've been suppressing for the week, whether it involves her or somebody else, and I'll text her or I'll call her, be like, I gotta be hot right now, or we need to go eat so I can be hot. And she automatically knows I'm talking about being honest, open, and transparent. Yeah. So in our relationship, what do you think that does for us when we are aware of that whole principle?
Ooh, that's a loaded question. That's like the social worker in me is like, okay. So I think just relationship-wise, it has allowed me and Abraham to really build a meaningful connection with each other, because it's like acknowledging that we have insecurities, that we have fears, that, you know, we feel uncomfortable and all of that to each other. And like also showing each other that we can trust each other to be honest and not feel like judged, or not feel like we don't have a safe space to like come to each other and talk. And I think the fact that we have been doing that in our relationship, it has inspired us to try to do that like outside of our relationship, like with our families, with our close friends and everything. So I think it has been like major for our relationship throughout the entire relationship, because I'm the type of person that I'm rarely afraid of sharing how I feel. And I think it's just because like I have experience with like therapy and counseling and stuff like that since I've been little. So I don't think I've struggled with that too much. But when I met Abe, he wasn't the type of person that he would just like sit with you and be like, let me tell you all my secrets and all my insecurities and stuff. And that's something that we had to learn to do as a couple. It's like really being vulnerable and really sharing like, hey, I'm feeling uncomfortable right now, or, you know, hey, I'm feeling really upset about what you said, and this is how I like heard what you say. Is this what you meant? Stuff like that. And I think it's just like really key to our relationship and like the type of the connection that we're building, and the type of connections that we want to build with the people around us. And it like sucks to be vulnerable, like, to be honest. When you're vulnerable, it sucks because you're super uncomfortable and like you feel it in your belly and you're like, oh my god, I want to throw up right now.
No. just.
I just want to be real with you.
You gotta.
Listen. I just want to be real with you because I don't want you to watch this video and think like, oh, they're making it so easy and stuff. Like, being vulnerable is gonna be hard. But here's the thing. Like, when you get...
I can do hard things.
And you get... Yes. When you get comfortable with being uncomfortable, it's like the best accomplishment feeling in the world. Because you can get in situations that are uncomfortable, but that they help you grow. So when you come out of their English as a second language. That. When you come out of that, you're like, whoa, I just took this weight out of my shoulders, and like I just did that, and I survived, and I overcame. So it's like
I do want to
stronger.
I do want to say something though on the whole relationship piece, because coming into the relationship, that wasn't a challenge for Fani.
Right.
Being open and being honest and just sharing herself. But for me, it was the hardest thing that I had ever been asked to do. But I want to commend Fani, because even in that, she was patient. Like, Fani could have easily said, you know what? This Negro, like, I don't even know who you really are, because you're not being honest about, like, a lot of stuff. And you got a whole lot of, like, secrets and insecurities. And I'm just out of here because I can't stick with that. Like, she could have easily became impatient, and just because of my unwillingness to really approach the hot principle in a real way, she could have just left, right? But she was patient, and she knew that this was hard for me, but she also knew that I was trying. So it wasn't that it was hard and I was running away. It was hard, but I was like trying, and like baby steps led to me being able to really start to open up without her even starting the conversation. Now I'm starting the conversation. Now I'm coming to her about stuff without her having to ask me to say, is there something on your mind, because I see this on your face. Like, she don't have to ask me that much anymore. I'm not gonna say she don't have to ask me at all, but she don't have to ask me that much because I've worked on it so much. But in the beginning stages, it was hard. Like she said, it's uncomfortable, especially if you grow up in a household where you don't just openly express your emotions. You don't openly cry, and you don't openly talk about, man, I feel sad because I got a D, or I feel sad because this girl left me, or like if you're in a household where that conversation is not encouraged, how the heck do you expect to just get that overnight with a partner.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like, all right, well, this is a whole new person, and I'm a whole new person. It's been like 15 years. I need to start growing up and start, manning up and being vulnerable. And that's what I had to do.
Bro, that y'all lit, bro.
And I think the thing I really, really love that Abraham and like even Mo today when we were talking, they were getting like really, really vulnerable because I'm Hispanic. And like my culture, men don't get vulnerable. Like men are not taught to be vulnerable in my culture. They
Wait, what's your nationality?
Oh, Venezuela.
Oh.
Like men just in like Latino men are not encouraged to
men in general.
To
Black
listen,
men, white
listen,
men,
Linda, listen, Linda. Okay.
Yeah.
So Latino men and like black men are not encouraged to be vulnerable, and I just feel like blessed and like very encouraged. They're not letting me talk.
Sorry.
I feel blessed and like very encouraged by them because they're like Afro-American men, and in this culture, black men are not encouraged to get vulnerable because they get seen as like weak, and that's not the truth. Like they are super strong. Like this two right here.
I want to end this video because we're going.
No, wait. I got something to say.
Go ahead, player.
Let
me let you think about it.
See, I should have had my pen and pad because I had a.
You had something to say. I know what you had to say. You had to talk about. You were saying like you blunt and that. Now, I want to end this video with this. First of all, I hope you guys got some value out of this conversation. Second of all, we want to thank our special guest, Dre Mo, aka my little brother. And then third, I want you to think about like, as a human being, we all have a desire to be the best version of ourselves. And so in becoming the best version of ourselves, not being perfect, but progression and becoming better, it will require some uncomfortable work. And a lot of times I think we think as people like one day the magic potion is gonna, magically turn this into something amazing, or we're gonna have this amazing relationship, or whatever the case is just gonna happen, but it never happens that way. And the longer you take to initiate that work, the longer you take to start the work, is the longer the process will take to actually come to fruition. Like that progression that you want to see, the longer you are sitting here and waiting for that perfect thing is the longer it's going to take. So when we talk about being hot, when we talk about being honest, open, and transparent, we want to challenge you and encourage you to start small. Just talk to a friend or a family member, one-on-one conversation, and just share something that you probably haven't shared before. Like share, and it doesn't even have to be anything deep, like failing the test, or maybe you feel bad about a breakup that you had and you don't got to go into detail. Just say it out loud. And when you say that, celebrate yourself with the fact that you did it.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Switch your secondary motion, whatever it is, with a why.
Ask yourself why. Any last words?
Thank you so much for staying until the end of this video. We appreciate you. We hope that you got something from this conversation. We love you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
I just hope y'all can see this man's toes, man.